You stand at your own front door. Your breath forms clouds in the cold morning air as complete strangers carry boxes and heavy furniture into your house. The same house you built with your own hands after years of sacrifice. It feels surreal. Like watching thieves work in broad daylight while everyone pretends it's normal. And there she is, your sister, standing in the middle of it all with a notebook in her hand. Giving orders like a general. Careful with that dresser, she shouts to one of the movers. That goes in our bedroom. That single word burns hotter than the freezing wind. She truly believes it's hers. My name is Elena Vargas. I am 34 years old. This is the story of how my own family tried to take the house I spent 9 years building from nothing and what I did to stop them. If you have ever seen people smile at your face while planning to take what is yours. If you have ever been made to feel invisible, used, or worthless, listen closely. Because sometimes the best revenge is not destruction. It is standing firm. Let's go back to the beginning. Imagine a 7-year-old girl with scraped knees and hands covered in dirt. That was me. My world was not made of video games or toys. I lived in the backyard under an old oak tree whose roots looked like secret tunnels. I spent hours crouched under the sun with dirt under my nails. Shaping the world one handful at a time. Come inside and do something normal, my mother would shout from the window. But normal meant being small. The earth was endless. Watching a seed sprout, watching something live because I cared for it. That was everything. When I turned 18, that love had grown roots too deep to ignore. Everyone expected me to choose something practical for college, business, nursing, perhaps teaching. My father even had a speech ready about stable careers. But I announced I would study horticulture. It was as if I had said I was joining the circus. You can't live playing with dirt, my father said without emotion. But I could already see my future, designing gardens, restoring parks, creating green spaces that would last longer than paint or profit. So I left anyway. University was hard, but I loved it. While my classmates complained about soil acidity or irrigation systems, I sat at the front taking notes as if my life depended on it. Pest management, fascinating. Mineral imbalance, a puzzle to solve. The more I learned, the more alive I felt. After graduation, I worked for other companies. But passion does not mix well with greed. My bosses cut corners everywhere, cheap mulch that washed away with the first rain. Selling dying plants as new. Quick fixes where careful work was needed. I poured my soul into jobs where they only cared about money and speed. Watching those gardens fall apart after a single season broke my heart. So at 25 I took a terrifying leap. I emptied my savings, the $12,000 I had, and opened my own landscaping business. No reputation, no safety net, just me, an old truck full of tools, and the faith that if I worked hard enough, something beautiful would grow. That first year nearly destroyed me. I worked 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mornings with clients, afternoons installing, nights doing paperwork. My back hurt so much I slept on bags of ice instead of pillows. My hands bled, but I never thought of quitting. Little by little, word spread. One client led to another. People saw that I did not just plant flowers. I built foundations. By 28 I could afford helpers. By 32 my schedule was booked months in advance and my reputation for creating sustainable beauty became my best calling card. And then on a sunny Saturday I found it. The house. A small worn-out cabin half hidden behind an overgrown hedge on the edge of town. From the front it looked plain, even sad. But when I walked around back and saw that huge empty plot, my heart began to race. It was not just land. It was a blank canvas calling my name. I spent everything I had on the down payment, signed the mortgage, and moved in with a borrowed lawnmower and a heart full of plans. That piece of earth became my masterpiece. I built stone pathways that looked like secret trails, raised beds full of color, a peaceful pond bordered by lilies, and a small fountain whose murmur became my favorite lullaby. I planted fruit trees that perfumed the air with blossoms every spring. Little by little the place came alive. It was not just a garden. It was a reflection of my soul. Every weekend, every free hour, every quick lunch, I poured it all into that place. One day on impulse I entered the county landscape design contest and won second place. There I stood with the trophy in my hands and dirt still under my nails. Prouder than I had ever been in my life. But the house was not completely mine yet. I still owed the bank, and that kept me up at night. So I made a vow. Every extra cent would go toward paying it off early. 9 years. 9 birthdays. 9 Christmases. 9 years of sacrifices. No vacations. No new clothes. My mechanic joked that my car door was held together by sheer willpower. He was not lying. I lived with the bare minimum. Ate homemade soup for weeks. And when temptation whispered, "You deserve a treat," I thought, I deserve my freedom. Until one Tuesday morning the letter arrived. Paid in full. I sat at my kitchen table staring at those words through tears. After 9 years, the house, the garden, the dream were completely mine. I laughed, I cried, and I drove straight to the bakery downtown. I bought the most expensive chocolate cake and a bottle of wine I would normally never even look at. I was going to my parents' house with news so big it felt like it could split the sky. When I arrived, my sister Valeria was already there. Valeria had always been complicated. The golden daughter who always landed on her feet, even if she stepped on others to do it. Her husband was beside her drinking coffee as if physical effort gave him allergies. Their 8-year-old twins ran down the hallway with toy cars. I walked in smiling with the cake box in my hands, bursting with excitement. "Guess what?" I said. "I did it. The house is completely mine. It's paid off." I waited for applause, for hugs, for something. But Valeria only rolled her eyes. "About time," she muttered. Before I could respond, she added, "We've been talking and we think the most logical thing is for us to move in with you. The kids need space and your garden would be perfect for them to play." I blinked, my smile frozen. "Moving in with you is the most reasonable option," her husband cut in, leaning back like he was making a business offer. "You have plenty of space and we're paying rent to strangers when we could keep it in the family." My mother nodded, pleased. "Elena, daughter, family comes first. You have more space than you need and Valeria has the children who are growing." I felt the world tilt. "But it's my house. I just finished paying for it." "Our house," Valeria corrected me in that condescending tone she always used. "Family property belongs to the family. You couldn't have bought it without all the help Mom and Dad gave you." Help. I repeated the word. I had bought my own car, paid for my own university, built my business from zero. The only things they had given me were criticism and doubt. My father spoke in a reasonable voice. "Look, Elena, you're being selfish. You have a beautiful house and a huge plot going to waste. Valeria needs space. It's the most logical thing." They were not asking. They were informing. As I listened to them plan which rooms the children would take, where they would put their furniture, how they would reorganize my garden to make it more practical, something cold and firm settled in my chest. "The garden can disappear," Valeria said, waving her hand dismissively. "The kids need space for a swing and those flowers just get in the way. We could simplify it and make it normal grass." 9 years of planning, of choosing plants that will bloom all year, of creating a living ecosystem. And she wanted to turn it into plain lawn. I stood up so fast the chair screeched against the floor. "No." The silence filled the room. "This is my house. Every brick, every plant, every inch represents 9 years of my life. You are not going to come in and change everything just because it suits you." My mother's face hardened. "Elena, don't talk about family that way." "Family," I spat the word. Where was my family when I worked 7 days a week? Where was it when I ate instant soup to pay double the mortgage? Family does not try to steal your life. I left the cake on the table and walked out, driving with so much anger that my hands shook. But the calls started that same night. My mother making me feel guilty. My father telling me I was being irrational. Cousins I barely remembered calling me selfish. "What's wrong with you?" my cousin said. "They're only asking to stay for a while. They're family." But I knew Valeria. This was not temporary. This was conquest. 2 weeks of constant pressure. Messages, visits, manipulation. Until one Saturday morning I heard voices at the entrance. I ran to the window and felt my blood turn to ice. A moving truck. Valeria's husband giving orders. Valeria on my porch with keys in her hand. The spare set I had given her for emergencies. I dressed in a hurry and stormed outside. "What the hell are you doing?" Valeria smiled with that "I know better than you" face. "We decided not to wait any longer. You're confused, so we're going to settle in and then you'll see it's best for everyone." The movers looked at each other uncertainly. One of them, an older man, set the box down. "Mom, is this your house?" "Yes," I said firmly. It's my house and these people do not have permission to be here. We're family, her husband shouted. She's just overreacting. I went straight to the truck driver. This is private property. These people are trying to move in without permission. If you don't leave right now, I will call the police. Absolute silence. Even Valeria hesitated, realizing I was not playing. You have 5 minutes to get off my property, I said loudly so the neighbors could hear. After that I called 911 for trespassing. The movers were already loading the boxes back before I finished speaking. Valeria's husband went pale. Valeria screamed something about how I would regret it. That family would not forget how I had treated them. But I turned around and walked back to my house, to my garden, to my life. The life I built with my own hands and would not let anyone take from me. That afternoon I stayed in the garden surrounded by flowers, trees, and stone paths. For the first time in weeks I could breathe. The calls did not stop for days. My mother crying, my father cold and distant, Valeria alternating between shouting and sobbing. But there under the sun I understood something. Setting boundaries is not only protecting what is yours. It is protecting your worth when others refuse to see it. I had spent my entire life building something beautiful, meaningful, alive, and they wanted to turn it into something ordinary just because it suited them. The hardest part was not confronting them. It was accepting that the people who should have loved me were willing to steal my dreams because it benefited them. 6 months later I still live alone in my small house with my extraordinary garden. The family silence hurt at first, but now it is filled with something more valuable, peace. The certainty that what I built belongs to me and no one can take it away. Sometimes protecting what is yours means disappointing those who believe they have a right to it. Have you ever had to set a boundary with family or friends who tried to claim your hard work? Tell me in the comments. And remember, what you build with your own hands is yours. Thank you for listening to today's story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next story.